Hello and welcome back to my Not Hitchhiker's Guide to Morrowind video. Yes, I remember that fail. So, Sleep Paralysis Part 2. So, I really started losing my when I realised whatever this evil, malevolent being in the room was, it was now lying on the bed next to me. Now, this not in a sexual way, by the way, in case anybody's wondering, because you do, you get ideas of the incubus and the succubus. Come under those things. It wasn't anything like that. It just lay there, freaking me out. But I really started to lose it when I could hear it breathing. On the side where I felt it get there, again, without being able to see it, I had a perfect picture of what it was doing. And it was lying on its side, staring at me, with a huge grin on its face. And it was breathing right down my ear. And that was the thing, I could only hear it through the left ear. It was lying on the left of me. I didn't hear it through the right, and that's what really... Oh, Jesus. And it was a really raspy breath. Okay, now the only good way I've ever found, I'll see if I can find it actually, it was a really naffy little reconstruction that some guy made with his webcam. But he got the breathing off to a T. Really raspy, croaky, animal-like breathing.
Oh, phew.
I could feel the heat off it on my cheek, drying my tears off. And I thought, any minute now, when this thing's had enough, it's gonna kill me. Well, thankfully it didn't. I fell asleep and I woke up and it had gone. Thank for that. That was by far the single of everything I've been through, of real life things and sleep paralysis attacks, that is the most terrifying thing I have ever experienced in my life, was that thing. Before I even knew that thing was there, it was, like I said, it was a feeling of dread which just swept over the room. I don't know how to imagine, like a poison cloud of hate and fear, and it just, and it was there. Terrifying, absolute, oh god. The boiler's making noises again. And then I woke up and still couldn't move, still crying my eyes out. There's no fear, there's no shadows, there's no balls of gas or whatever that was, there's no noises. And I'm thinking, right, what the hell? What? Yeah, I was actually thinking that. This is literally just, what? And then, as if everything else wasn't bad enough at this point, I diagnosed myself as being batshit crazy. Because I started hearing things, not the old creaks and the moans and whatnot. I started hearing a little girl in my room. And the thing was, again, without being able to see her, I could pinpoint her exact location. She was on the floor, leaning against the door. Okay, I can picture it in my head perfectly. She was sat there with her head, with her knees up and her head leaning on her knees. Very, very young girl, like maybe 4 or 5 years old. And she was crying. And the reason I thought I'd lost it is because, again, this was so creepy. You know, if you try to imagine voices in your head, no matter how good of a reenactment you can get up there, you still know it's in your head. Yeah? But this wasn't. As this little girl was crying, I could feel the vibrations in my ear. I wasn't thinking it, I was hearing it. And this was just... But then I adopted, you've probably heard that, you know, the people say, oh, if you ever run into a ghost, talk to them and ask them what they want and if they're alright and whatnot. And clutching at straws, that's what I was doing, but I couldn't speak to her. But I was trying to think it, and it worked. interestingly enough, just thinking hard enough, saying, it's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? It's just this little, very young girl, corner of my room, crying her eyes out. I still can't move, like, all this weird stuff's going on. I'm just a little girl crying now. What? And at some point she moved, and she actually moved to, I still couldn't see her, but she'd moved to the position where the first shadow was, the guardian angel shadow, that's what I call it. And I can picture her sat on the bottom step. And she was giggling. I don't know what went on there. She went from absolutely crying her eyes out to she. Jesus, I'm calling it a she like it was like she was there. This is how real this was. And she started giggling and laughing, and it felt as weird and thingy as it was. It's like, okay, I might be insane, but at least I'm not terrified now. Yeah, this thing I could hear it. This wasn't in my head. I was actually hearing this little girl talk, but then it was odd because at some point, sorry, she hadn't talked at that point. She was just laughing and crying, but then at some point she started actually talking, and she was speaking English. And it was crystal clear, but I couldn't tell what she was saying, which is odd. It was English and it was perfectly clear, but I couldn't make heads or tails of it. A little girl in my room just talking to me. Now that's a very, very rare one apparently, but I did, because that was the main concern. He's like, alright, but nothing, because I spent 2 weeks after this non-stop looking it up and trying to figure out, what the hell was going on. The little girl was the one thing I couldn't cover, and then I found like one comment of a guy who said about having a little girl in his room crying. It was, oh, thank God it's not just me. Validation that you're not crazy, or that if you are, you're not alone in it, So yeah, that's a really, really rare one apparently, a little girl crying in the room. And I kept nodding off, and tears started drying, and I started getting less and less terrified. Still think I'm batshit crazy. And then there's these creaks on the landing, and my dad's gotten up to go on holiday. He set his alarm at 6:30, and I could hear him walking across the landing. And as soon as I heard that, I started focusing. It felt better. It was almost reassuring, knowing that somebody else was up and somebody else might be able to help me, or something. And just like that, it went. Gone. Stopped. Fell fast asleep. That was it. Done. Over with. 3 hours of absolute hell. The interesting thing is, I got up in the morning. Well, no, I didn't. I got up in the afternoon, actually. And I was exhausted. Like, I felt like I'd run a marathon in the middle of the night or something. I was absolutely shattered. And yet when I woke up, I didn't remember any of it. Nothing at all until I made myself a brew, got up, sat down. I started talking to one of my friends on Steam, and he said something. I can't remember what it was. But he said something, and all of a sudden I just, whoa. Oh my god. I've just... What? What? And the whole realisation that, oh my god, this happened last night, and it all came flooding back, and it's so vivid. Like, you would not imagine. You don't get that with dreams. They're a little fuzzy, and they're a little this, that, and the other, aren't they? It's, this was perfect. This was crystal clear, and I just broke down. What the hell? What? And it was almost like re-experiencing it all over again. It's like, I've gone batshit crazy. But I explained it to him like a dream. I was just saying it was a dream, even though I knew I was awake while it was happening. And luckily for me, a couple of days earlier on, I think it was Overclockers or something, he'd read a thread about sleep paralysis. And he said, oh, that sounds a bit like this. And he goes back and he finds me the link, and I looked it up, and it's like, oh my god. Oh, thank god I'm not crazy. And it went from there, and I started looking up, and it's like, this is the weirdest stuff ever. Well, I didn't sleep for about 3 days after that. I think it was about 2 days or something until I eventually just fell asleep from exhaustion. But what I found for about 2 months after that point was, even though I was exhausted, I would go to sleep, but my eyes just wouldn't close. They were, they were literally, it was like somebody put matchsticks in there. They were wide awake. I was incapable of closing my eyes. And I didn't want to. I don't want this stuff to come back. I was absolutely terrified. And you know what? It's sick and all, right? My SP, I call it, by the way. My SP was absolutely sick because what it did is it let me fall back into that comfort zone before it came back. I think it was about 2 weeks. And I started to... Because I'm reading this again and again and again, that the terrifying experiences, generally if you get them, are hopefully a one-off. Well, guinea pigs just dropped a water bottle on themselves. Cheers! You're not freaked out enough as it is, you little bastard. Sorry, I think I just shat myself. And 2 weeks before it came back again, and I just gotten it through to my head that this was a one-off and this was not going to happen again. And then one night I went to sleep, and as soon as I did, I woke up and I couldn't move again, and I immediately started freaking out, and I saw the gassy ball thing in exactly the same spot. And I remember trying to say, you can't actually speak, but I remember trying to say, oh no, 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 which actually probably would have come out like, there's no control of that. It's terrible. And luckily for me, that first experience freaked me out that much that for that 2 weeks prior I did nothing but research sleep paralysis. Research what it was, why it happened, every experience I had, and more importantly, how to break out of it. Okay, and so I'm going to share this now just in case anybody does have trouble with sleep paralysis. This is how I deal with it. Because your immediate reaction, it puts you in, I mean, this is terrifying, it puts you in fight or flight, they call it, and your immediate thing is to do either of them, and you can't. And what you try doing is lunging your whole body, you're trying to and get out of it. That's not going to work. That's just going to trash your muscles. Trust me, I've done that as well. My trick, and I remember panicking, and I stopped, and I thought about it, and it's like, right, what do I do? Right, okay. Just think about it, as long as you know what's happening. Okay, realise what's happening, realise what you need to do. Focus all your energy not into moving your body, but I choose just the very, very tip of my pinky finger. Okay, concentrate on moving that. Just the tip, bend just the tip, even a millimetre. Okay, it is exhausting, and it sounds, anybody who hasn't experienced it, it's hard to imagine just how hard it is to do that. It's impossible. But of course, the other option is to try and move your entire body, which of course is completely out of the question. It's so hard to move your pinky finger, you've got no chance of lugging your body about. And I sat there and said, no, and I remembered that, and I moved my pinky, and then bam, gone. Just like that, I woke up and I was sweating. Within a second, it was like my whole body just went and just poured out. My heart was racing. I was exhausted just from doing that, but it went just like that, just by bending my pinky finger. There you go. If any of you ever do experience this, just remember that. Okay, no matter how much you want to just get up and run, you can't. You just need to focus on bending your pinky finger. That is all it needs. The slightest movement, tiniest little movement, will pull you out of this. Okay? Or try moving your big toe. Or something like that. Or your little toes. Whatever. Try just bending your toes. Instead of going for the whole body thing, just one tiny little thing. God, I hate sleep paralysis. And then after that, I had nothing for ages. Again, I had that first terrifying experience, and then 2 weeks later, it tried. That's what I call it. It tried to come back. I moved my pinky finger, and it stopped. All gone. All safe. And I don't know, I think it was a couple of months later, and it started popping up. But by this point, this is the thing now, when it happens, I know, just move your pinky. But it was all the time. I wasn't getting the full-on attacks. It wasn't getting that far as soon, and I still do it nowadays. It does once in a blue moon. It'll do it. I'll just wake up and you've got this sort of vibration and this staticky feeling. Well, not static. I keep saying static. That's not me, but it's more of a vibration. Sort of, you can hear it in your ears. And move the pinky finger. I'm done. But then I have to get up. That's the thing. Don't ever go back to sleep. If you go straight back to sleep, you're just going to go straight back into it. Okay. Just get up and grab yourself a drink or something like that. That's the easiest way to do it. So, yeah, I've gathered for a lot longer than I expected to, yet again. So you know what I'm going to do? Next farming run, I'm going to go on to some more sleep paralysis things, and some of these are quite funny. Okay, of all the odd and wonderful sleep paralysis attacks I have had in my life, including Scousers waking me up at last minute telling me I owed them 400 fucking grand. That has to be the weirdest one. So, yeah, we'll save that for another farming run, but yeah, anybody else that experienced it, leave a comment, let us know. Right, I'll be off then. Sleep tight. Don't let the demons bite.